In this video, I'll teach you a best practice for adding resources to an effort-driven task. Did you know that in Microsoft Project, you can shorten the duration of a task by making it effort-driven and then adding one or more helpers to that task? It's a really cool feature, but I've always felt like something was missing in the process. What was missing is a best practice that I developed years ago at the dawn of my training career with Microsoft Project. In this video, I'll teach you my best practice. So let's get started. In this project, please notice that I have Calvin Baker assigned to work full-time on each of the tasks in the project. However, the schedule is taking too long. What I need to do is to shorten the duration of the design task and the build task to shorten the overall project schedule. To accomplish this, I'm going to use effort-driven scheduling with a recommended best practice. Here is how to do this. Select a task to which you want to add a helper to shorten the duration of the task. Then put your mouse pointer anywhere in the white part of the Gantt chart screen, do a right mouse click, and on the shortcut menu, choose the item Show Split. This will display a special combination view known as the Task Entry view, with the Gantt chart view in the top pane and the Task Form view in the bottom pane. In the bottom pane, you do need to confirm that the task type for this task is either fixed units or fixed work. And you also must confirm that the effort-driven checkbox is selected, which means if you add a helper, Microsoft Project will automatically shorten the duration and split up the work proportionately between the resources. All right, so I've got that first requirement met. Task type is fixed units. Effort-driven is selected. Now let's give Calvin a helper. The helper on this first task will be Mickey Cobb. I need to put in her units to tell Microsoft Project whether she will be a full-time or part-time helper, where 100% means she's a full-time helper. I'll set Mickey Cobb's units at 100%. I do not need to enter the work. Instead, I simply need to click the OK button. Notice what happened. Microsoft Project shortened the duration to 10 days and split up the original 160 hours of work proportionately, with 80 hours for Calvin and 80 hours for Mickey. Here's the problem. Calvin and Mickey now need to communicate, collaborate, and coordinate with one another while they're working on the design task. Those hours of communication time were not factored into the 160 hours of work. Here's the best practice that I developed many years ago. When you are adding resources as helpers to an effort-driven task, after you've added the helpers and clicked the OK button, then increase the work for each resource in the range of 10 to 20% to account for the increased communication needs of the project. Well, I'm going to increase the work for Calvin and Mickey 20% each. So that would give us 96 hours for Calvin and 96 hours for Mickey. Watch what happens when I click the OK button. Microsoft Project just increased the duration of the task to 12 days, which in this case is now a far more realistic duration for this task. Let's continue. I'll click the button called Next to go down to the Build task. This is a really long task, 30 days. I've really got to shorten it. Notice Calvin is assigned to work on this task full-time for 240 hours. I'm going to give him 2 full-time helpers. They will be Mickey Cobb, working full-time, and Warren Blackbeard, working full-time. Again, I need to click the OK button to split up the work. Notice that Microsoft Project did split the 240 hours of work proportionately, with Calvin, Mickey, and Warren each getting 80 hours of work. Now, we need to apply the best practice because on this task, it's going to take a lot of communication. I'm not going to increase the work 10% or even 20%. I'm going to increase it a full 30% to account for all the communication that will be taking place. So I'm going to add 24 hours to each of their work values. So that'll be 104, 104, and 104. When I click the OK button, watch the duration. It now jumps to 13 days, which again is a far more realistic duration value after adding 2 helpers to this effort-driven task. So now you know my recommended best practice for adding helpers on an effort-driven task. Thanks for watching my YouTube video. If you found it useful, please give it a like and share it with your friends and colleagues. Don't forget to leave a question or comment in the comments section below. And if you'd be interested in hiring me to train the project managers or schedulers in your organization, do leave a comment to that effect in the comments section, and I'll get back to you right away. And as always, I'll see you in my next video.